Are you done, Ed?
Sometimes. I know. I did that. Hey, Ed.
Mine is test 1 2 3 4 5. Test 1 2 3 4 5.
How are you today?
Pretty decent. How about yourself?
I'm doing good.
Good deal. Good deal. Close. Good to see you.
Fine. How about you, Parker?
Thank you very much.
I didn't know you wanted me to sit up front. I have on a sweatshirt. Whatever. It's all right. I didn't do my hair, so I'm going to hang out in the back. For the back.
Have a seat.
How are you? Good. Nice to meet you. Thanks for coming. Yes.
Glad I didn't.
Okay, sounds good. I'll be ready.
Master Sergeant Rhodes, sound the bell. Sailors, raise the colors.
Good morning. We are now at the All Veterans Memorial in downtown Emporia for on-air and online coverage of the Veterans Day Memorial Service. Chuck Samples, Blake Cripps, and Taken Terhune, Aaron Harder, Ron Thomas, and all others here today, bringing you our coverage this morning. Beginning our service today, American Legion Post 5 Commander Ed Rathke.
Boy Scout troop, Scouting American troop, please do the Pledge of Allegiance. Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you, 157. Mr. Jerry Laurendine, opening prayer, please.
First, I'd like to say thanks to you all for coming out today to celebrate your freedom by honoring your veterans. Please let's join together and lift our thoughts and bow our heads and our hearts together in prayer. Father, thank you for this wonderful nation that we have the privilege of living in and being a part of in our everyday American life. Living here is a privilege, and you've bestowed that upon us, and we can never thank you enough. So we start by saying thank you for the many victories that our nation has succeeded in winning. Where tyranny raises its ugly scepter, help us turn to you for your wisdom, knowledge, and strength. And help us to acknowledge that we have received your blessings and your successes in previous battles and wars, and help us continue to be one nation under you, our God. Even though these victories and successes are many, they were costly. So help us honor those who have fallen and remember their families. And when we see, hear, or say, all gave some gave all, let us stop and ponder the depth and the true meaning of those 6 words. We stand here today a free nation because of those 6 words. Thank you for our freedom to celebrate holidays such as today, and for our ordinary citizen soldiers and their extraordinary sacrifices, especially those of the fallen. Help us see the signs of those who have PTSD. Please give us the compassion to be there, to be the one who silently listens without judgment. Lord, please continue to bless this nation of diverse peoples and help them, that is, help us remember you, not only on holidays and times of need, but to be thankful on a daily basis. Help us attain unity in our leaders and maintain great strength in our military. Once again, I ask you to remind us to turn to you with thankful hearts for wisdom, both in everyday, mundane areas of our lives and in the times of tragedy. Thank you that we are able to celebrate Veterans Day 2025, and thank you for being our loving God and Father. Amen.
Vietnam veteran.
Thank you for praying with me, and I got to add one more thing. I feel that there's one final thing that we need to ponder. It's prudent to quote President Ronald Reagan: "Freedom is never more than one generation away from extinction. We didn't pass it on to our children in the bloodstream. It must be fought for, protected, and handed down to them to do the same. Or one day we will spend our sunset years telling our children and our children's children what it was once like in the United States, where men and women were free." That was President Ronald Reagan, and that's where we are today and every day. Thank you for coming out to celebrate Veterans Day with us.
Again, Army veteran Jerry Laurendine, and here in a second we'll have
Thank you, Soldier Laurendine.
Colonel Kevin Hadley as our guest speaker.
I'd like to introduce our guest speaker for today. I think he has a great message for us. Lieutenant Colonel, retired, Kevin Hadley is an aspiring rural American. Retired from the Army in 2023 after 21 years of a commissioned service, including 5 combat tours to Iraq, Afghanistan, and Jordan. From the back alleys of Baghdad to the west wing of the White House, Kevin learned to lead and to love soldiers and soldiering. He is an expert in developing leaders, running large organizations, and strategic planning. He now puts those skills to work leading his wife Kim and their 8 children. His work as the church planter for the Church of Christ Emporia, as a small business owner and a flower farmer, that's interesting, and an insurance agent for the Perriott Farm Bureau Insurance. He writes and speaks on faith, leadership, and renewing rural America. Lieutenant Colonel retired Hadley commanded the 4th Battalion, 4th Infantry Regiment, the Manchus, the Charlie Company, 1st Battalion, 504th Parachute Infantry Regiment. He served with the 1st Infantry Division, the 2nd Infantry Division, and the 4th Infantry Division. The Airborne 82nd Airborne Division and the 18th Airborne Corps, as well as the Pentagon as a staffer for a U.S. Senator. He qualified as an Airborne Ranger and a Jump Master. His awards include the Legion of Merit, 3 Bronze Stars, and Meritorious Service Medal. Please join me in welcoming Lieutenant Colonel Hadley.
Good morning. Thank you all for being here, for honoring our veterans with your presence. The band, you sounded great. Thank you for doing the Emporia High School band. To everybody that's putting together the ceremony from our color guard, and then there's more ceremonies later. You know, this is a very appropriate and solemn and respectful way to memorialize our veterans. To our distinguished guests that are here, I see Congressman Schmidt. I see Kansas Senator Mike Argabright. I see our local representative, Mark Schreiber. Various commissioners, Mayor Harder is up here, so I thank you to all the local notables that have showed up and honored our veterans this morning. So, I know Ed, and Ed knows me a little bit, and so he knows that as a retired infantry officer, there's nothing that I like better than to stand in front of large crowds of people and to tell them what to do. So, I appreciate your patience with me this morning. I'm a civilian in training. I know I don't look it today, but I squeezed into the old uniform. I'm a civilian in training, a veteran in training, and I have a lot to learn from all of you. I'm what you might call institutionalized. Institutionalized is when you wake up in the morning and you hope that somebody tells you what to wear that day. You know, I grew up in small town Indiana. I had great parents, a great family. And my mom pretty much told me what to wear every day through high school till she dropped me off at West Point. When you go to a military academy, they have, opinions on what you ought to wear. You end up in the Army, you wear the same thing every day. So that's me. I'm institutionalized. I'm stuck with that decision every morning of figuring out what I have to wear. But I'm trying to adjust. I'm trying to be a civilian. And, I farm flowers. I sell insurance. I run a church. I do all the things. But, it's difficult because people talk different when you're on the outside. For instance, I'll talk to somebody and I'll say, hua. And they will say, gesundheit. Or I'll say, well, I'll meet you at 1930. And they'll say, well, I didn't do that well in history class. I'm not sure what you mean. Or I'll say, hey, let's go get some chow. And they'll be like, well, did you get a new job at Simmons? None of those things are true. I'm just a recovering Army officer. I'm a civilian now, a dirty, nasty civilian. But inside of me, behind my eyes, in my belly, I still have that old fire burning. And people say, do you miss it? And absolutely, I miss it. I miss the sense of mission. I miss soldiers who run around and do things and like go, go, go. I miss NCOs like Master Sergeant over here that push the officers out of the way and try to run everything. I miss the young officers that want to be the best in the world at what they do, and many of them are. So I miss it. I miss the guns. We got some kids around here. I miss guns and tanks and helicopters and rockets and howitzers. You know what a howitzer is? Yeah, it's a big gun. I miss hand grenades. Has anybody here, raise your hand if you've thrown a hand grenade? Then you know what I'm talking about. Now, hand grenade is a special thing. It's a spiritual connection that I have with a hand grenade, and I miss it, for sure, because we're in me. And I see that in some of you, is that fire, and it's still burning. I look around, and I see soldiers, I see sailors, I see airmen, and I see Marines. Any Marines in the crowd? in the Marines had a big birthday yesterday. If you're a Marine, you let me know if I'm talking too fast. Because I want you to keep up with the rest of us. And I don't mean to denigrate Marines. I don't mean to denigrate Marines. And if you are a Marine, denigrate means to put down. But I wanted to mention Marines this morning. You know, Ed said, hey, talk about veterans. What is a veteran? What do you like about veterans? And so I served with Marines a lot. I spent a lot of time with Marines in Ramadi and Fallujah and Anbar province. And actually in Baghdad on my second deployment, I was actually embedded in a Marine MIT team, a training team. So at that point, I was on my second deployment. And they said, hey, Hadley, go down there, take a couple paratroopers, and you're going to embed with this team, and you're going to be like our liaison. And our job was to partner with this Iraqi battalion. So we'd fight with them, and we'd support them, and we'd train them.